Hello everybody and welcome back to Megastore Simulator. Today we are going to be carrying on with our summer department. I bought everything we need and already got it up here, so all we need to do is place the shelving and put the products on the shelves today. So we'll get on with that. After we have finished that, I want to head downstairs. We'll open up and I want to move my bakery. So I'm going to move the bakery and hopefully place it over there. I hope it will fit. We'll find out. But kind of put it over there and it's, I think, probably forever home. So we'll shove it over there in that corner. That'll create some space just here for me to put a proper checkout department, really. So I want some actual checkouts as well as some self-checkouts and sort of fill this area in with that sort of thing. So we'll get on with that. I don't know if we'll get it all done today, but that's the plan. So we'll do that. I also want to have a bit of a shift around in the music section. Just a couple of items I want to move over there into some new positions. And then we can have a little look at the butchers that has come into the game. That is quite a large area we're going to need. So what I'm going to probably do between this video and the next is get a lot of the expansions. I might just push us forward a little bit in this series because it's going to take a very long time to get the space required to be able to place that in. So instead of just waiting around for about 300 years, I might just push us forward a little bit just to get the space for that, and then we can start putting that in over there, and then we can start moving the groceries around and actually get a bit of traction going over there. So that's what we're going to be doing over this video and the next few. Other things to note in this video, though, I have got a few more mods running than before. So mostly quality of life mods. So I've got the PlaceAnywhere mod, which I don't know why I didn't have that in the first place. I remember looking at it when mods first came into this game. I don't know if it made the game run a bit off or something at the time. I can't remember why I didn't choose to use it. But I've now brought it into the game, works great. So basically, when we're moving stuff around, rather than have to find space for everything, I could just clip them into other things, which is kind of, makes it easier for moving stuff around. You can also place stuff in front of a fire extinguisher, for example, and it's fine with it. Push stuff closer together than the game would ordinarily let you do, even if it should be fine in real life. Like, you can really back things up to each other, where the game wouldn't let you do that necessarily in normal play, like there, for example. I could now push that right up close together. So that's a really good mod we're going to be using. I'm using Tag Plus. I'm experimenting with it for the summer section. So you remember when I put that summer section in, I was playing around with the prices because they weren't happy with the prices at 39% or whatever we had them set at. Well, what I've done is I've got Tag Plus, which says you can just set all to max profit. So if you click that, it sets them all to the maximum profit that you can set for that item, where they're not going to complain and they're still going to buy everything, which sounds great. What it seems to do is just turn everything to 39%. So I don't know if it's actually calculating the maximum amount for each item, or if it is just sending everything to 39%. Now, 39% store-wide is generally fine. That's generally what I've gone for. If you see it slightly different where it's 38, it's because I've just rounded it down so it's to the nearest 5 or 0, just for change purposes. So that makes sense, but there are a few sections in store where the customers don't buy as much at 39%, or that always used to be the case. So we're going to see, but basically what you do, so I've got all these set lower, is you set all to max profit and it will find the maximum profit. Obviously then it messes up all of your change, but you can go to the shelf and you can knock that down, or you could just do that, for example, or come down a few cents to 25 just to make sure it's easy for change. But we'll just do that for now, and I'm going to see how that goes up there, and we'll see if we get any complaints or not at 39% as I was getting in the previous video. But that is quite a handy mod, because when you bring in a new section, for example, when we do the butchers, there'll be a lot of items, like here, for example, and you have to change all of these prices individually. It does take a little while. It's quite annoying. So you can now just click that and it does the job for you, and then you can just finesse it. If you want to have these all rounded up, just go around finessing it, which is a lot easier than before. So quite like that mod. Another mod that I've got running is the Mega Paint tool. Now, I'm not using it to its fullest, basically just using it for the fast painting. I did try the smaller tiles, but it wipes the entire floor. It sends us all the way back to concrete. So I have to go around and redo every little bit of floor again, which I may do, but I couldn't be bothered to do that for this episode. So I've left that for now. But I have got the Mega Paint tool, which does allow you to paint flooring and everything a little bit faster. So for example, we come over here where we've got nothing anyway, and I just pick this, for example, and now just click and it's done, which saves a lot of time. You can alter this mod and change the size of the brush area. And if you were to press and hold shift or something like that, you can paint a huge section. It's customizable in the settings, but it doesn't seem to work properly for me, but I'm happy enough with the fast painting for now. It just seems a little bit better than how long it usually takes. So you can quickly change it. So that's a lot better as well. And the other big one really is the Restocker Priorities mod. So we head over to the PC just before we get started with the rest of the video here. I come into management. I've got more paused at the moment because I'm going to be moving some stuff around. Usually, if you want to set, say, Dylan on a department, you can click department and you click, let's say you click music, and Dylan would only restock your music, which is okay, but you do need a lot of restockers then, because you're really going to have one per department, or maybe two per department with doing that sort of thing, because, you know, it leaves parts of the store then a bit unattended. And I've always thought, well, wouldn't it be good if you could have them go to multiple departments? For example, in my Megastore, I have my music section right next to my electronics. So if I could set a couple of people that do music and electronics, because they're already heading in that direction anyway, and they can restock both together, that's perfect. Well, with this mod, Restocker Priorities, you can. So it brings up a list here, and I can now say to Dylan, right, I want you to only do electronics and music, so I can untick everything else, and you can have them do multiple departments. So they will now do, so Dylan will now do electronics and music. You'll notice here there's also a priority as well. So if, for example, music generally sells out a bit quicker than electronics, so I want you to do that first, I can then send that up in the priority list. I mean, these are all turned off, so they wouldn't matter anyway, but you could send this to the top if you really wanted to. But Dylan will now prioritize music. When music is done, move on to electronics. But they can do multiple areas of the store, so that's really good as well. I'll fiddle with that a bit later on, but yeah, I think that will be a big help going forward. That's all the mods I brought in for now. There are a few others that I have been using off camera, but I don't very often use them within the gameplay itself. I've got one that speeds the escalator up. This is just usually for between video play, where I'm just pressing play and trying to get through a few days as fast as possible. So I've got that, so it speeds up the escalator, so everybody goes up and down the escalators pretty quickly. I've got Night Restocker running on there as well. I'll leave some links to these, but I'm not going to be able to display them, so I'm not running them on this version of the game. Yeah, Night Restocker, so everything gets restocked overnight. There's a couple of others as well, but I'll throw those in. Any mods you see or I speak about, I do list in the description of the video, so you can go and check them out there for yourselves. Right, we need to get started then. Now we've had a little talk through all of that stuff. In fact, what I'll do is I'll start in the music section, because that's all a bit messy now. Right, what I want to do over here, I did have a comment and a good suggestion about moving the speakers over to that side, because that kind of flows in from the electronics then. And I quite like that idea, because it does, because you got your electronics, you might as well go into speakers and then go into everything else. So I quite like that. So I'm just going to have a small shift and bring those things to over here and then move these things over there. If you notice any small color variance in today's shelving, that's because I accidentally painted absolutely everything in store jet black. Unfortunately, I still had F6, which is paint all to the last color you were using. I still had that option live. I hadn't disabled that. And I pressed F6 and it saved instantly. So everything was totally black. So I've had to put it all back to roughly the colors they were before. But if you notice any slight variance, because if you are new to this series and haven't seen, I use this color wheel. So trying to match it exactly how you had it before is quite difficult. So yeah, if you notice any differences, that is why. All right, let's move this stuff over here. See how easy this mod makes things, because you can just dump things wherever you want out of the way while you're moving stuff around, which is very handy. And then, yeah, we're going to move all of the speakers and stuff over here. Another handy feature, of course, is I can come right up and I can cover over the fire extinguisher. Now, that doesn't sound like a very good idea in real life, but in real life, I take it off the wall and move it to there. So, yeah, we're going to roll with it because it's kind of annoying otherwise. You can disable this mod. This is why I ended up pressing F6. So if you want it to snap into the wall, obviously, because at the moment it's not going to snap into the wall, if you press F6, it disables the mod, and then you can sort of get it to the wall, so you know where the wall is, and then you can just press F6 again to bring it live. That's why I ended up painting the entire store, because I'd not disabled that feature on the color mod. So it was a double button. Right, let's move these over here. I've only got one of those. I think I've got these ones here, haven't I? Move these then. Still need a motif for here, I think. You can get a mod that allows you to put logos on the wall. I wonder if that would work quite well there. If we had a big music logo there, I think that would look quite good. Right, what else have I got then? So I've got some cases and some speakers here as well. I could move the cases and stuff over here as well. We could have this as like an aisle, couldn't we? I might do that actually, because we've got a lot of like the other bits and pieces, and then we can just have all of these dotted around the place. Might look a bit better. It's taking up a bit more room there, but these can move along a little bit. Maybe not quite like that then. If we got rid of that, that could still work if we come further up. Just leave a gap in it, so you can still get through. That doesn't need to be there. That can just, that could rest on the end just there. Unless we don't go with the aisle idea. And we don't have to. We can got a little bit of room here, because a lot of this stuff can now move over here. We've got a huge area over here for all of this stuff. So actually, it doesn't need to go in an aisle, does it? We can just kind of go with the same design we had in a way. Just over here. I think I might do that with another aisle there. So let's move these over here. We've got lots of room for all of these things over here now. Probably move the CDs as well, slightly, but they can still be the differentiator between this side and that. But yeah, I think this is a better idea, isn't it? So we've got speakers there. They can come round and sort of go about there somewhere. And maybe we can get one in the center here then. Something like that, but lined up. I think that probably works quite well, actually. So we'll go with that. We'll have that to roughly there. I mean, we could go all the way back, actually. No, we'll go all the way back for that. Let's put these right back on the line. Because otherwise we've got like this dead space on the floor, haven't we? What I could do with now is like a line tool. A grid system. You can obviously do it a little bit with the bricks on this particular flooring, but it's still not simple. But if you could put a grid system in, that'd be perfect. But not everybody's is into that sort of thing as I am. Right, I think we'll just centralize that, and then I think that'll be done. I'm going to move these back, I think. Turn the mod off a second. Move this one as well. We have this. Can we have that up to about there somewhere? That one next to it. That's not too bad. Creates an entry point as well. That's better, I think. So if we just make this a bit more central, so just a fraction to the right-hand side. Snap it together. Slightly not in line. There we go. That's pretty much, I think. Slightly off, but it'll be fine. I can't do much better. Right, that's a lot better. I prefer that. So that's a good change. Yeah. So putting the speakers over here, Fits well because you come out of the electronics, you come into the speakers, then you come into the guitars, etc. So that's good. Then I will move this along slightly because I think we might need a bit of extra room. So we'll just move this over slightly, and then we can just dot all of those things, hopefully with a little gap between every single one. So I'll have that one there, for example. I have this one about here. This one over in the corner. Might have to turn the mod back on, I think. So we can get a bit better placement here. That can go just there. This one up there somewhere. Can go just there. Those self-checkouts won't be there for very much longer. Actually, we could line them up in 2 lines of 3, actually, couldn't we? I didn't realize we were actually doing that. I was kind of just randomly placing them, and I almost placed them in 2 lines of 3, didn't we? So if we just do something like that. It's a bit tight here, though. Maybe not do that. Or bring them out slightly, at the very least. Yeah, we'll do that. So I can move the CDs slightly. And then bring this slightly closer together. Something like that. I think that's better. I prefer that. That's a much better look than I had before. So I just need to put those more central. I could do with a couple more, actually, couldn't we? Just to finish that off. I think having 3 would look better rather than just having the 2. So I might get some more and then just randomly place some CDs, because if we had another one just there, I think that would finish it off quite nicely. But that is a lot better than I had it before, so I'm happier with that. Good, so that's that part done. Right, let's go upstairs and actually do what I wanted to do today, which is continue on with the summer department. So we may end up in this video doing this, and maybe doing the bakery next time, because I think we might run out of time. Right, so I got all the shelving I need. Some of this, these beach basket shelves, are used, I think, for the inflatables. So I've got 3 of them. I'm hoping that's going to be enough room. I'm going to have to find a spot for them. The one thing, of course, to remember about this, I've got this lovely motif on the wall that I really, really like. But this wall, probably for the next episode, will be coming down. So I think this is like the next expansion to take. Or no, that one is. And then that one would also come down. So it's like two expansions time. So that's going to be disappearing, which is annoying. I really wish or hope that at some point in this game we get some walls some partition walls we can put up between departments, so you can actually use this paint. Because unless I then move all of this to the far end of the Megastore at some point, I won't ever be able to do this again. We'll have it on that wall, but we won't have it down the center. But if I could put like a little center false wall down the center, just with the motif on it, that'd be much appreciated. Let's move some of this stuff and put it in here. Fortunately, I think we might have to block the occasional bit of palm tree, although I'd rather not. Maybe we create an aisle here. I might move this. This is a bit large. I still want it. I'd still like it in the center, but it's a little bit large, isn't it, for when you're a bit tight on space. How many more of those have I got? Is that it? It's just this one. Oh, there's 2. Okay. Could go against this back wall over here then. So actually, maybe we don't need to have anything down the center. Don't know if I've got enough shelving, mind. Let's put the stuff on and then we'll decide whether I've got enough. If I have got enough room, then I'll put it all against the sides here, and then we'll bring back our pool. These things are pretty large, aren't they? Almost too large, really. And they don't really go with the rest of the shelving. I kind of wish that these were made out of the wood color. All right, well, let's get some stuff into those. So I think these rings all go in here. Sailor's Ring. I think we've got some more of that style. We have indeed. We've got Blue Flamingo. We also have, I think there's one other one as well. Pink. We only get 5 in here. Do I want to double shelf those? I would normally do that elsewhere in the store. Is there anything else? I'm not sure. Do these air mattresses go in here or do they go on a regular shelf? I think they go in there as well, don't they? I would have thought that's an either or. Yeah, it's a basket shelf. Okay, so they go in there as well. So it's all inflatable stuff. Don't think there's any more flamingos. So we can move on to some of the other items. So we've got some rubber rings, so we'll have these. But yeah, I don't know whether to double shelf these or not, because there are only 5 in each one. And that feels like I'm asking for trouble, really. I double shelf everything else. So I don't know. I am running the more customers per shelf mod, which is not so much a quality of life mod, but does make the store operate more realistically. So basically what that does is, in this game at the moment, if a customer comes to this shelf, they can only buy, one customer per shelf. So this customer comes here. Any other customer that wants to come here will have to go somewhere else first or just doesn't bother. So having the more customers per shelf mod running means I can have one customer come here and they'll grab this, but somebody else will come here and grab that. So it is a bit more realistic. They can browse shelves together. Which does mean we could end up with 3 people coming and wiping this out in one go before a restocker has a chance to come. What I'm fearing there. But I'm not sure I've got the room to be double shelving all of that at this point. We might have to do that next time when I've unlocked some more space. And we can extend this area a little bit so we can go down there with it. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll single shelf it for now, and then we'll double shelf it next time or something like that. Because we're going to definitely run out here. And I haven't really got a lot of room. So I think when we expand, that'll have to go down there. Before that, though, I think I may require... I assume that these balls will also go in there. Oh, I've got another rubber ring here as well. I'm going to need some more stuff anyway, aren't we? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. I think I saw 7 and 8 there. So we're going to need... I'm going to just get a load more anyway. I'm just going to get another... Need at least 3, but I'm going to get another 4 of those, maybe. Let's see, another 1 would do that, and then another 3. Get another 6, because I think I am going to have to double shelf that stuff. That's not those, actually. Don't want those. Yeah, I think I'll get another 6, because we'll have to double shelf some of it anyway. Might not get them used today. We may have to, as I say, continue on with that once I've got a bit more room up here, but I think I will need them. Right, while we're waiting for that, we've got a load of caps and hats and stuff, so we might as well start, I think, in the center area, putting this stuff in. There are a lot of these. I didn't... Yeah, I have double shelved. I've double shelved the towels and the bags, so we'll carry on with that theme then. So, baseball cap. I do want to get open soon. So things can start ticking by as well. How many more caps are there? I've still got my thing up here. I have. Don't know why I've been doing this without using this. 1 by 1 is not the way to go. Oh, there's so many caps. And some other hats as well. Those hats are slightly different, like bucket hats and stuff like that. So we'll take these ones first, put them over here. I think we've just got the one left. I think we will have one of these not double shelf. Should be fine. I mean, we've got plenty of variety, so it should be fine to just do one of those, but I don't really have the desire to have a cap on its own somewhere with no other hats of that type. Right, where are the ones? Straw hats, flower hats, print hat there, pineapple one. Is that it for these? Have we got any more? I think that's it for those. So they can go on the reverse side. All right, that's that bit done. So now we're on to, I think, flip-flops, stuff like that. Flip-flops. Flip-flops. Is that it for them? I thought there were more of those. Oh, there are. Still only the 3 varieties, though. I feel like I bought a lot of the wrong shelving here. Yeah, I feel like I've got a lot of the wrong shelving. So I'm not sure those umbrellas, maybe they do. I'm not sure if the umbrellas go on these or not, to be honest. Let's just grab one and find out. Do they go on here? Yeah, they go in the basket shelves as well. So I don't think I need all of these other shelves. I've read that wrong. I don't need these. I need more of those, sadly. I think that's all of the products I have left all go on that type of shelving instead. Which is a bit of a shame, actually. I was hoping to utilize these a bit more. But if that's the case, we'll box these up and probably sell them. Just leave them on the floor for now, just in case. I'll have to double check, make sure I have actually bought everything. But yeah, so it does give us some more room, though, doesn't it? These can all go along this wall now, so I can bring back my pool as well. Too bad. So if I put those ones over there, those ones just here. That'll do. Only got room for 3, that's fine. I'll dress that up a bit nicer. It's not too bad. I don't like how close it is to that, but it's okay. We'll leave the sun cream and stuff, I think, at the entrance. Maybe over there somewhere. So we'll just fill the rest of the place up with this stuff then. So we'll go and fetch the shelving that I've just purchased. Which I think we may need more of now. Well, we definitely will, because I didn't account for the umbrellas. I'll bring these up. Leave that just there for a second. Let's go and make sure I've actually bought everything. Pretty certain I have. I've also got everything already on shelving in the warehouse as well, which is why the restockers are turned off, because I knew there'd be a pain. Right, so what's not on the shelf? It's just on shelf, out of stock. I think we've got all of these things up there. Yeah, we're not missing anything, are we? So it is just those things. Right. Try and fill as many as we can then. Alright, so umbrellas, we might as well... I'm going to want to... Do we need to double stack those? They look like they would get more than 5 in there. It's just that you get 5 in a box. That could be quite handy, actually, if that's the case. It looks like you would get more umbrellas. but you only get 5, but it looks like you could easily get 10 in there. I don't know if that's the case, but it looks like it, doesn't it? Oh, they do. So they inflated, didn't they? I was kind of watching them come out. I thought, wow, these are all flat. You don't usually sell these without air. Well, I guess you do sell them without air in, but you'd usually have a couple of them blown up or something for display, wouldn't you? But they blow up as you take them out of the box. It's quite handy. You do get a lot of these on, so I'm quite happy to leave these single shelved. There's 18 of those on there. That's absolutely fine. Throw more of these on here. What's in that box? Another ring. I think we'll put that umbrella just there, and then we'll steal one from here, maybe the red one. Put that on there as well. So that's the umbrellas done, the ball's done, inflatables. So actually, we've got plenty of shelving here in the end to fiddle around with some other bits and pieces, because we've now gone through all of our products. So I think we will double do these since we can. Put those in there. I don't know why I've stayed with the same order there. I should have mixed those up a little bit. They would have looked better mixed up. Grab that one, put it there. Grab that one, put it in there. So they'll get filled up. Then we've just got a couple more of these. There we go. So some of them are doubled, some aren't, but that's not too bad. All right, so that's just a case of rearranging them, but they're all in, aren't they? So since they're all in, I think we can open. Because otherwise we're just burning through the entire video, not opening up. So let's get open. Get some customers in here. We just go upstairs and get rid of this checkout, because somebody will come along for it. I'm going to actually box this up, I think. Let's close it and box it. And just place it down there. Because otherwise, somebody's going to be queuing there all day long again. All right, let's fiddle around in here then. So, I think having them that facing us is the wrong idea, because it just blocks the area off. So if we get these out of the way, drop them over here. That there. Yeah, having this like this is not working, is it? So grab these, shift them over, create some sort of aisle. So we'll start off with the inflatables.
Nice.
I'll put that there for now. Might end up changing that in future. Like when we get a bit more space. But I think this area is done. Got a lot of space just here. I'd like to add some more things in. So I don't know, I might double up on some of these things. I might get some extra flip-flops and some towels and stuff and put them just here just to fill that area in. And obviously, I have no room for my pool. Which is not good. Not ideal. I'd like the pool in there somewhere. I guess what I could do actually is I could utilize this space a little bit. We could put our inflatables just here. If we put these things there, and then put the umbrellas over by the sun cream, which is a little bit odd when they're not together. So I think we'll have the sun cream moved out and then put that on the end there. And if we can squeeze these balls just on the end here, which I don't think we can quite. They stick beyond.
It looks freshly baked.
But it's not too bad. That gives us space for the pool. All important pool, you see. You've got to get your pool in. I think we'll have it like that for now. As I say, this will probably alter around a little bit as we move forward because the wall will go anyway, so we'll have to have a bit of a change. But that'll do for now, I think. It's not too bad. Right, so that is the summer section complete. So that is done. So now we can head downstairs, have a little fiddle with the bakery, but we'll probably end up doing that next time now. But we'll have a little fiddle with it whilst we're still open. And yeah, then eventually when we come back upstairs again, we might have a bit of a shift around once that wall's taken down. I can maybe lay out these caged shelving a little bit better. But for now, it is good. Right, how are we doing up here? Everybody okay? We don't need any of these, really. I'm going to... shall I save them or throw them away? We've got a reasonable amount of money. I'm going to save them. I'm going to save these just in case when that wall comes down, I fancy extending this area a little bit and doubling up on some of the other shelving, adding a few more towels and things.
I love that freshly
I'm going to save this. Wow, there's a lot of people around here. Where can I put these? Where I'm going to remember them. Probably just there. We'll be fine. This just here. So we have, like I say, I'm running the mod that allows people to browse the same shelf together. Now, they won't very often, even with the mod, they won't very often do that, but they now at least can. Which is why it probably feels quite busy around here. There's a lot of people all in the same sort of area because they're not being forced to go to a different shelf than one that's already being looked at. But it is exceptionally busy at the moment. Like 70 people in store, and they are all on the escalators. Like everybody that's in store right now has got to be in screen. It's crazy. Right, so we need to move along then. I need a free oven with no trays inside. I think you're okay. I don't know why you're complaining. That's a bit weird, really. You're complaining about something that's not even a problem because he has an oven right there that's got trays. Got no issues whatsoever. Where can I mean, I can shove these anywhere, thankfully, because I'm running the mod that allows me to do so. So these are just going to pile up over here. I'm not going to box them up. Of course, you're using one set.
Nice and fresh.
Okay, there's a lot of people using them. It's not ideal. Yeah, doing this open is not... probably not the way forward. Let's reopen them so we can get some customers in. So in case... we shouldn't ever hit that threshold. I've got that threshold set at 100. It's very unlikely we'd hit that. I think I've been in the mid-80s before. But that's as high as I've got, like 84. The reason we've got it up to 100 is just for scope, really. But yeah, having so many customers around here is making this job difficult. I think what we might end up doing... we'll try and do a little bit of this, if we can. But I'll make sure I stay closed at the beginning of the next episode in order to move all of the self-checkouts and everything over here, because it's going to be a nightmare otherwise, isn't it? Customer there and customer here. As soon as this customer's gone, maybe I can move this one out of the way. Get rid of it before somebody else comes. Alright, somebody is still coming to this one, apparently. But we can utilize the space over there. So, let's begin moving some stuff around. My baker is not going to be happy with me because I'm going to start moving all of his stuff around here while he's working. We do have an all-day service now here. Up until today, actually. I've managed with one baker, but I was finding that the occasional item was finally starting to run out, like he wasn't baking fast enough occasionally. And it was very occasional. But it was just on that point. So I thought, right, it's time for a second baker. So I don't know if that's been adjusted, where we're getting more customers to the bakery. Because for a long time, like when you first start the game, loads of people come to the bakery. When you start getting your other departments, I found the bakery to be a bit slack, to be honest. Like if you look in the statistics, it's second worst to the grocery section, I think. Yeah, you don't really sell a lot of this stuff. So, right, let's move the stock, I think. Let's move all of this over here. So what I'm thinking is, sorry about that. What I'm thinking is, instead of having it the layout we have at the moment, basically having the reverse layout. So all of the bakery goes around the outside and he works in the middle with his oven and all of his stuff. This is really not working out. What are the chances? The one thing that I move is the thing that the restocker wants, 2 restockers want, and it's the same thing the baker wants as well. What are the chances of that?
That looks great. Nice and fresh.
I'll tell you what, he is not happy with me. My baker. He'll be cursing my name as he's walking backwards and forwards here. He's like, why can't you do this when the shop is closed? Why are you doing this while we're open? I'm hoping I've got enough room over here. When I originally came up with this idea to bring it over here, I mean, I've always wanted to come over here with it anyway. It's been earmarked for it for a while. But when I thought about it recently, about bringing it over here, I hadn't actually brought the music section so far over. It was after when I left the speakers over there, I made the mistake when it was only to like here or something, or to there.
I love that fresh
But there's plenty of room over there. Beginning to think maybe there isn't, but we should still be fine. It is dedicated for it. This wall will be coming down as well, so even if it doesn't fit perfectly right now, it will do by the next one. So let's start squeezing these together, because that'll give us some more working room. That fire extinguisher will just have to be closed away in there. What are the chances of the bakery catching fire? Only that hot oven and some flammable ingredients and stuff he's got around the place. I'm sure it'd be fine. Doesn't need a fire extinguisher. They can do that. Obviously, we can have some in the center of his floor space as well, so they don't need to just be against the wall. We can have them like this as well. You know, for a second, I was thinking, why are there boxes on this shelf? But he's put his truck inside it, hadn't he? That threw me for a second. Yeah, they can come through the center as well, as long as we give him a pathway to walk around. Right, where does his oven want to be? At the front? Possibly? Something like that. Not bad. And then basically we'll put the rest of it, so all of the shelving goes around the outside now. And then he just works in the center. He'll be pinned in, so we can't leave. It'll be something like that. So these could go... leave a bit of a gap, so he's got room to walk, something like that. I've got people grabbing stuff from the air. Now we can do this on an angle, like that, or we can have it squared. I'm not sure if I prefer, I think I'd prefer it squared off and then down there. So obviously we've not got a lot of room here against that wall. So I can move this slightly over. But when we take that wall down, it'll work. Just at the moment. Maybe not so much. It is a bit tight down there for the customers, but we could move over to the right slightly, actually, because we've not got that. We've only got 3 more anyway. I think I'll move slightly over to the right. That'll be fine. There we go. They can walk down there. Probably needed to do that anyway. Otherwise I was going to crash into the shelving down here.
Nice crust on this one.
All right, so that can go there. So he can still get in around here. He can still get through here. That's all good. Everybody can go around and choose what they want. He's got his whole working area right there, so he can cook things, grab stuff off all of the shelving, and put it to where it needs to be perfectly. So that's worked out quite well, actually. Quite happy with that. I was beginning to think when I was placing all of the racks over there, I thought, there's not going to be enough room for this. But fortunately, there is enough room for it. And actually, it looks quite good. So this new space here will be now used for self-checkouts as well as my own checkout and maybe a couple of other ones as well. So what I want to kind of do going forwards is obviously we're going to have a lot of days where we are just designing and doing some. We're at that stage of the game, really. But I want other days in the game where it's a bit slow, where maybe I've got a couple of things to do, but not a lot, where I can come and sit at my checkout about here somewhere and actually serve some customers and actually work in store again. So that's the plan for this area. I'll probably leave the freezers here for now, but once we have got a little bit of the room, I'm going to get, like I said at the beginning of the episode, I'm going to really move forward now and start getting a load of expansions because it's really starting to hamper the series, really. So I'm going to push forward with all of that, get a load of stuff so we've got room for the butchers. So we'll get a start on that next time, as well as put the checkouts in. So we can work, the butchers will be running, and then we'll move the freezers and stuff and redo the grocery section because we'll have room for that as well. At the moment, as you can see, it is a bit of a mess in here, so we'll sort all of that. But we'll do that next time. Not going to rush around and do that for this episode. Just see out the last customer. Let's have a last little look at what we achieved upstairs then. That's not too bad. I don't mind that. That's okay. Yeah, I might make a couple of adjustments when we've got a bit more room, but it's not too bad. Anyway, we are done for today. If you have enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave it a like, consider subscribing to and joining the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you for another video very soon.